So the hangnail did the promo, and then he walked out, and then it was time for the first match of the evening, Brian, where I've got to admit I saw something that it's been 53 years now that I've been watching wrestling and I've never seen before. A match that was so crowded that the partners and the teams couldn't even stand on the ring. A 14-man tag team match started. I'm not making this up. Bandito and Templario and Atlantis Senior and Junior and Adam Cole and Brody King and Danny Garcia wrestled Dax Harwood, Chia, Kyle Felcher, Take a Shit, Lance Archer, Josh Alexander, and Volare Jr. Volador Jr.
Volador Jr.
Volador, whoa.
No, that's Volare. Volador was
Junior. Whoa.
Volador Senior, I should say. Well, just Volador is what we call them. He was a legend. Triple A.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been senior until there was a junior. One of them ought to just come out that way. A fucking guy's like 20 years old, have his gimmick as dipshit senior. And they go, well, who's goddamn junior? Well, I ain't had him yet.
See, the trick would be to find someone who's like 20 years old who's going to come out as the masked dipshit junior, but if their body didn't look so young, but they were young, so then you get like 60 years out of them because no one knows exactly how old the masked wrestler is. So then dipshit senior can have multiple generations of dipshits after that.
I think you're talking about Atlantis now.
Oh, no, Volador.
No, you're talking about Atlantis now with multiple generations of dipshits because holy criminy. So apparently the only person that lucked out was Cash Wheeler didn't make it. There was travel problems for a few of the boys. They had to do a couple substitutions and poor Cash was supposed to be in this thing.
This match was a fucking train wreck. You know what? If you had it on mute, you would have no idea what was going on because everyone's just standing there in the ring, but it's not like in the lumberjack match position. It was so weird.
There was one, if there were one guy from where there was, if they was one guy from each team in the ring wrestling, there was one more guy from each team on the apron in the corner where the partners are supposed to be, and the rest of them just stood on the floor down on like the manager. This is the manager position for a team where I would have been managing. And so it was no secret who might get tagged in next because it's the only one you could reach. And then I wore out to fast forward on this thing. How long? This must have been 20 minutes long. And it just was endless people in and out and doing things back and forth. And finally, after however long, everybody just dove all over the place and half the people in the match fought off. And Dax was left in the ring with Atlantis, who is as old as the actual city of Atlantis. When he lived in Atlantis, you could lay in your backyard and get a sunburn. It looked like do you remember when they had the fight with Angelo Mosca and his Canadian Football League rival at the reunion when they were both 80 and on canes and walkers?
Oh, the guy knocked Angelo Mosca right out, yeah.
Well, that's because Angelo didn't see it coming because he was trying to park his walker. That's what this looked like. This fucking guy, I said he looked like a baked potato with a lucha mask on, but he's throwing these punches and his fist is kind of open. Either that or arthritis won't allow him to close it, but they're just weak and he's stiff, not stiff like stiff in the way that he's landing blows hard, stiff in that his body parts will not move. He looks like the goddamn Tin Man before he was oiled. And poor Dax then kicks the shit out of him and does several things to him. And then picks him up off the ground, holding him by the head, and had to say something to him. Possibly like, amigo, this is the finish. And Atlanta small packaged him and beat him 1-2-3. It's out of 14 fucking guys, including on the other team, a couple guys that don't even work in AEW regularly. They had to have a senior citizen that you said he was 62. Goddamn Bull Curry was moving better at 65. He beat Dax Harwood just because why not? Everybody else does.
Well, first of all, was this not that this justifies anything, was this the payoff to the angle last week where FTR beat up Atlantis and Atlantis Jr.?
Well, apparently.
Just to be in the middle, it wasn't even supposed to be like FTR versus them. It was just this giant match.
No, they were going to be on opposite sides with 5 other partners each. But they shot an angle where Dax was beaten up twice by a fucking AARP recipient so that they could blow it off by having the fucking oldest guy in the history of the world beat Dax Harwood in a 14-man tag team match.
The fans were really happy, and I'm sure this was a lot of fun in the room. But again, and I'm sure a lot of AEW fans loved it, but to me, I'm sick of the multi-man matches. I'm sick of either, 4-way matches or just multi-man teams. And AEW's been doing it nonstop, especially.
But yeah, and just random and mixed up. And we'll have this group of 3 team with this group of 4 against and the other guys. We'll throw the one substitute in because nobody will notice, and you couldn't really tell.
And if you're doing the whole Arena Mexico thing, where are the trashy dancers? And the furry midgets, like that's part of the show.
Wait, I didn't know they had trashy dancers and furry midgets. Actually, I might rather see the furry dancers and the trashy midgets.
I think that's one of the highlights of watching it from Arena Mexico is what the fuck's happening over there. It's like over here, there's wrestling Sabado Gigante to get from the back to the ring. You have to go through that.
Can you see any of the dancers' fur?
No, the midgets have fur. They're furry minis.